you live in a country where people really think the solution is one of these two sides, and if they have control of the House, if they have control of the Senate, it doesn't matter.
Welcome to Pull the Pin Ready, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions on the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions,
but we promise we're going to enjoy giving them to you.
I'm Jim.
I'm Mike.
And I'm James.
Let's pull the pin.
Wow. Well, we got James back, so it's going to have to be some hot topic, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And don't ask me what we're going to talk about, Jim, because I'm just going to defer this to James. Just continue, please.
Look, okay, so not everybody is privy to the pregame warm-up, gentlemen, okay? So not everybody knows what you're alluding to here. But no, so I guess today's topic is we're going to discuss the impending civil war that seems to be threatening on all the social media platforms from all the various civil groups.
Wow, I couldn't have said that better myself. We might as well just end the show right here.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap, gentlemen.
Yeah.
The bourbon's over here.
Yeah.
Grab your rifles and let's hit the road.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, there is one thing. Oh, sorry, Mike.
I've actually seen that chatter about a civil war die down.
Well, yeah, because the side that was instituting all that rhetoric, their candidate won. So
allegedly won. He hasn't won yet, but yeah.
Well, Jim, come on.
You know there's an official process. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You just can't say things like that, or you
are fake news.
All I have to say is you're right, Jim, but you sound a whole lot like those Hillary supporters 4 years ago.
No, I'm not going to push
not over
yet. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
It's not over yet.
The Democrats,
not my president.
Well, come on. Let's be fair. But Hillary conceded and then argued that it wasn't that she lost. She still won.
No. Argued first. Then a whole bunch of people got together to say, "Hey, girl, come on now, concede." You know,
Right.
And the only difference is, he's doing everything legally, like we talked about numerous times. But he's like, "No, I ain't. I'm gonna pull every straw, everything."
No, I get
like,
that.
Okay.
Don't give up without a fight, determination, blah 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 blah. I applaud all that, but the numbers are what the numbers are.
Well, you can say all that.
They did a recount in Georgia, and he got it.
Well, but I'm saying you can say that, but they still
that was the official declaration.
Yep.
Was
they did a
Georgia is now
Georgia.
Trump's?
Yep.
Okay, I missed that.
This is what I'm saying, Mike. Depending what news media these people that are listening and you guys are watching.
Wait. What do you mean, you people?
You people in front of me, Mike and James. You people, you two people.
Yeah, you always give that to him every show. You give it to him every show, man.
That's what she said.
Yes. So either way, that there are many things, and I'm not going to call it fraud because that's what everybody wants you to do, but there are many problems that are surfacing right now with our whole electoral system process in states. And even if Biden still comes out and wins, this is good for the country because you shouldn't sit back and just accept all the stuff that's going on.
No, I agree. Don't, lambs to the slaughter and all that. So yeah, I get that. I get that part of it.
Even the Michigan people that the whole controversy up there is going on, they even said that these two Republicans are making an issue out of something clerical that happens in every election to all of the, like, did you just admit that your elections are horrible all the time and you've done nothing about it to fix it?
That's
like,
what it sounds like. Yeah.
That's the Democrats that are saying, like, stop making a big deal. This is always happening. Like, what? So it's crazy. But maybe we get back to the Civil War, because this is what I feel. This is what I feel, Mike.
Are you ready for a war?
Are you, Mike? Are you ready?
No.
No.
I'm ready for more Jim sound bites. That's what I'm ready for.
All right. I'll lay off.
Do
Sometimes
you
they're annoying.
really believe there's going to be a civil war?
You know, I think there's a social civil war already happening.
Bingo. Yes. I think Jim
Socially-
just hit the nail on the head.
With the banning of certain people and the control and the power people flexing with their ability to do to what. I mean, look at Parler just took off. I mean, Fox News just tanked because they stopped backing Trump. I mean, people are already picking sides and moving to where they want to stand their ground.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to come to a point where, it's, 5,000 people on this side of a field and 5,000 people on that side of a field with, cannons filled with nails. But, the Cold War was a war nonetheless, right?
Right.
So I think to think that the current climate isn't already a very strong semblance to the Cold War would be, I mean, that's a naive sentiment if you don't already see it.
Hmm.
Well, see, because
So this civil war, you can say, is ongoing. It has been going on for some time now.
but it's reaching points now. I mean, if you think about the incidents that have been happening,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, because of the sides, because of the teams, attacking Trump people at rallies, or, whatever, the Antifa thing, those things have been around. But I mean, it seems to me like it's escalating. And I know, Mike, you got the opinion like this stuff happens all the time, but I just feel something.
Well, no, Mike doesn't see the teams because, he's a libertarian. They're like, they're the water boys in this sport.
Right. They're the ones that sit in the basement just eating cereal. Be like, this is going to be over soon, right? 4 more years, I get to vote again. I get to vote again in 4 more years.
No, we just sit back and say, yeah, now they got it. Now let's see what they do.
This
And
time
how
will
the
be
other
different.
sides.
This time will be different.
Yeah, exactly.
This one's going to bring hope and change. I know it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is a coin shortage nationally. So, if somebody was bringing change, it would be nice.
Right. And I want to meet this Hope chick because I'd be interested.
I bet she's hot.
Yeah, it's got to be hope and change. We can all use a little more hope and a lot more change.
Yeah, we could have made America great again.
Yes, we could have.
Yeah, if we just kept him in office. Yes, because he was
right.
doing so well.
4 more terms.
Yeah.
I think there's amendment for that.
Oh, what's that? Amendments? Who needs that? We got Antifa. So I had this feeling because, how when you see the train wreck coming, you can see the train wreck, right? Because you have some insight or ability, whatever. And then you try to warn the stupidity out of people. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? And then you're almost sitting back waiting for the train to wreck because you enjoy telling them, I told you so. I told you so. You enjoy that moment. But then there's a small
You're talking
sliver.
to Mike in that statement, right?
Right.
He sure is.
Okay.
But here's the problem. Then there's a small sliver that you start to realize, wait a minute, this train wreck is going to affect me. And that's when it kind of pulls you into well, maybe I'm going to have to look at this a little different because just warning the stupidity and I told you so is not going to work. And I feel like that's what this is like. I know, Mike, it's the same thing every year to you. To you, it's the same thing.
No, not every year.
To me,
Every 4.
every 4
Some
years.
years there aren't elections.
Right. Well, there's always an election somewhere, I'm sure, even if it's in your own home, right? Who's doing the dishes? I guess that's me again. So I had this great idea, though. Maybe instead of a civil war, we can do this this United States draft. We pick 2 people, one from each side, each party. Sorry, Mike, yours is not eligible. So we pick
Less than
one
1% doesn't get included. Sorry, Mike.
Right. No, they get to pick which toilet paper we use. I don't know, whatever. But so we pick from one for each party, and they
They're
go.
the referees, man.
They flip a coin. Even though there's a shortage, they get the last coin we have, and they flip that. and the winner gets to pick the first state, and then we'll do it serpentine after that. So the loser gets to pick the next two, and then the next two, and the next, like that. And then we end up with 25 states on each side, wherever they're at, and only the parties that those people can go there. And the libertarians can keep Hawaii. Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at a total percent of acreage, they should probably get Connecticut.
I thought Vermont was, no?
Rhode Island is the smallest.
Well, I didn't want to go that far, dude.
Well,
Look at
that's why I gave him Connecticut.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, but we don't want them in the middle of us. We want to put them somewhere where they can be recognized. Like Alaska, they'll be really close to Russia. They'll be close to Russia.
Yeah.
Or we can give them like those Puerto Rico and the ones that just don't want to commit, the ones that are afraid of commitment but got their hands out as soon as a hurricane hits. Yeah, give them to one of those guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the government down in Puerto Rico is crooked as shit too.
No, that doesn't exist. There's no corruption.
Of course it does. They had all those videos of those warehouses full of hurricane
I didn't see any of that. No,
they claimed they never got.
No, that's all fake news. I didn't see any of it. This is what we're dealing with, dude. That's exactly.
Come on, where's your soundbite, Jim? Damn it!
What? Oh, you want?
Come on, man.
Oh, not that one. Dang it! I'm such a slacker.
I mean,
You are fake news.
There you go.
there you go. There you go.
But yeah, I mean, that's what we're kind of dealing with right now. That's why I feel like, we talked about in other episodes too, that's at some point, it's people are just going to get angry because they want to be angry. And the anger leads to violence. And the violence leads to what? More violence, because people are not going to sit back.
Honestly, it should lead to makeup sex. If we were running the country correctly.
Yeah, but not everybody's in a relationship. Not everybody's in a relationship. And if we had too much of that, there'd be more ignorant, stupid people in the world. So really,
not if they're crossbreeding from both sides. Then we get a bunch of genetic moderates, and maybe people might actually get along for a little bit.
Like Democrats or what? Or Republicans?
I mean, okay. So imagine how beautiful those babies would be if George W. and Michelle Obama had a baby. They'd be gorgeous.
You're gonna give Mike nightmares. But that's why I feel, Mike. That's why I feel like the Civil War may be.
They would look just like Joe Jorgensen.
It'll be extreme, and well then finally Mike will have a say.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we don't see things the same in that, like sitting there eating, like you're saying, oh, it's going to change. I'm like, yeah, majority of the time we're sitting there saying, okay, here we go again. Now Republicans are going to criticize Joe Biden for everything he does, everything he says. And if he says something similar to Trump or does something similar to Trump, they're going to be against it. Or if Biden does something that Trump did, that the Democrats vilified him for, they're going to say, oh, he's okay. Let him go. We're back in the same boat once again, Jim.
You sound so pessimistic.
Yeah, you have to be. You live in a country where people really think the solution is one of these two sides, and if they have control of the House, if they have control of the Senate, it doesn't matter.
So what I'm hearing from you, Mike, is that you think we should have a civil war.
No.
But that'll bring change. I guarantee you.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily good change. That means a lot of people are going to get hurt.
Right, of course.
Yeah. I don't want that.
The convenience store down the road from you would really like to have that change.
Well, luckily I don't have that. So,
people are going to get hurt anyway.
The way America is right now, since I don't have that local convenience store to be worried about, I don't care about them.
People are going to get hurt anyway, Mike, because isn't Biden going to bring back Obamacare?
Well,
Obamacare never left.
Yeah, and it's still here, right? He only changed one.
No. That's not true. It did leave once the COVID hit, because now everything is contributed to COVID, not Obamacare.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So Mike, do you have an AR? I mean, do you know what an AR is? No, you do know what AR is, right? Do you have one?
No, it's an automatic rifle.
Somebody stab him in the eye with a pen, please.
This is a veteran you're talking to. What's this thing here?
It shoots fully automatic, 12,000 rounds a second.
Yeah. Thing is deadly.
Explosive bullet.
Well, I don't have any type of pistols or rifles or anything like that, but I don't think there's a need for it neither.
I'll protect you.
You have nothing?
Nope.
He's a libertarian.
As a former MP, you have no self-protection in your house.
He's a libertarian.
Yeah, I do.
They don't believe in that.
Hey, when it's mandated, trust me. Like where I used to be a cop, the law says if you own a house, you have to own a firearm.
Really?
Yeah, that was actually a law.
Where is that?
Kennesaw, Georgia.
God bless Georgia.
Yeah, it went for Biden.
Not anymore. I just found that out.
No. Not the legal votes. The legal votes didn't. all the perfectly shaped, untouched, enveloped ones did.
Yeah.
with unintelligible signatures from people who have been dead 140 years.
Hey, they back in the coffin, minding their business. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw that at Tombstone with I voted on it.
Yeah.
That's one thing I will give credit for. If we ever have a civil war, I hope it's a meme civil war, because that has probably been the greatest thing ever invented. I was always, memes are dumb, but like I have a whole new appreciation for memes.
Yeah, same here, man. Some of them are just, oh man.
People are so creative.
Yeah, I love them. I love them. Like you, used to think they was just so dumb, like, oh, come on, man. But now I'm like, God, how do they come up with this stuff?
Right.
And it's on both sides too, man. I just laugh at it all. Yeah.
My favorite ones are the change my mind. The guy sitting at the table with the sign and it's got some
Steven Crowder
obscure statement on it, and then it's like change my mind.
Yeah.
Steven Crowder. He was a comedian too. So I always like when people do things with a touch of comedy. But I think those are serious when he does those.
So all of those are real?
To change my mind, yeah, he goes to colleges and does them.
Oh man, I always thought like somebody would just
no. So a lot of them have been edited, but there's hundreds of them that are legit.
You mean really? You're not talking about from Steven Crowder, because his are never edited.
See, I don't know.
People take them and edit his pictures.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
Yeah,
right.
So I didn't know.
Yeah,
that majority of them were probably real then. Wow.
So who would win a civil war, and what would the sides be?
My sides would be mashed potatoes and corn.
I think
the corn wins because it comes out the way it goes in.
I think the group or groups that would win in a civil war are those who are not participating.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Well, you really don't have a group. You'd have to call them a group, non-participants.
Yeah. But the people that are associated with Greenpeace, libertarians, those groups, they won't participate.
Yeah, but what if you're dragged into it? I mean, what if you can't go to the grocery store without running into groups of people that are looking for trouble?
Well, then you're not really participating in the civil war as the war itself. Then it goes to what we're discussing in other episodes. Then you just you're being defensive.
You're self-defensive.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, at the end of the day, look at the history. I know James wants to talk about the history of our original or real Civil War. I mean, were there people that were just minding their own business and let the North and South people identify themselves with uniforms? I wasn't around then, so.
Yeah, they were called Native Americans. Hell yeah, let all the whiteys fuck each other up and we'll swoop in when this thing is finished and see what we can do with the rest of them.
Yeah, that didn't work, but so
it was a good plan though. It was a damn good plan.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I just don't see how like when you say what if you're forced into it or dragged into it, unless someone says, hey, you're gonna fight for our side no matter what. You're not necessarily dragged into it.
Well, I'm saying the mentality is now, and like we talked about, the mentality is if you're not on my side, you're the enemy. So
that's
even
true.
if you think you're non-participant, you're not on my side. So you are the enemy, even if it's a non-participant. So at some point you may be forced to pick a side.
No, that can happen in certain instances, but to me, you're gonna have enough enemies from the other side. You're not gonna be worried about me.
I'm not worried about you anyway, Mike.
I know.
You don't have a gun.
I know. Yeah.
It's going to be really hard for you to run at me with your little cane.
Hey, but he throws a mean ninja star, though. Don't sell him short.
Yeah, no.
Hey, what I say, a lot of these guys with these pistols and all these guns, I'm saying, there's only one trigger finger, you know? And depending on who you're going up against, okay, show me how that works on the range there, buddy. How you do that, Jax? Don't believe the movies.
Oh, I am the movies.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. But no, I just don't. I don't get into it, man. I just don't.
So I mean, I get Mike's angle on this because I mean, you know, if you know the Crips and Bloods have a shootout on your street and bullets come into your house, you're not a part of the gang war. You know, you're just a bystander whose house got shot up. You know,
and if that happens, and you do have a pistol or a weapon, you're not going to charge outside and start shooting.
Hell no, because
no, especially when you haven't picked a side. I mean, if you haven't picked a side, both of them will shoot you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're gonna get shot with red bullets and blue bullets.
Yeah. So that's why I say I just can't participate.
Well, I don't think. Let's be real. I think there's a majority of people who don't want to participate. I mean, I think the masses don't even want to see it. But that's my point, is that I don't think there's people running out there. Well, I can't say that. I don't think there's a lot of people running out there saying, hey, let's have a civil war. Let's have a civil war. But I mean, like, I've went in the military to defend, you know, this country against enemies, foreign, domestic, all that. You know, if it had come down to it, yeah, whatever I got left, I will not sit back and watch one side destroy another side. I'd have to do something. I don't know if I would pick a side or could pick a side, but there would have to be something to do.
I just don't see you doing that.
You don't?
So,
no, especially if if let's go left and right here. If the right is just beating down the left, I don't see you going out there to.
No, you're probably right, because but that's because my opinion right now is that the left is the one committing all the violence. I don't see the right doing it. I see right militias forming, but I don't see them going out creating violence. So I would tend to believe that they're the ones that's going to be defending more than participating in the violence.
That's why I say, man, if you're, God, I've seen so much. You know, there's a lot of videos out there saying, oh, yeah, they don't riot. They don't cause violence. You know, it's only people, it's only Democrats. And there's videos out there showing protesters being, you know, so-called protesters. They're violent people out there on the right, threatening, trying to intimidate others. I'm like, wow, okay.
Well, I haven't seen anything in full context like that. I mean, I've seen many taken from that, like even the one recent one where the guy got sucker punched and ended up on the ground, where the media took that clip and showed him pushing at the people like he was attacking, but they didn't show the whole beginning of that when he was telling them to stay back. So to me, even the sources, you got to check the sources, because I really know that if I was in that group, and maybe you talk about what you talk about, show of force. Well, think about it. If somebody's being threatened or harassed, you know, and you guys decide to go to their house and protect this family, is that a show of force? Yeah, sure as hell is. Does that mean you're going there to look for trouble? No, it's not. But what do you do when trouble shows up? Nothing. You know, and if somebody videotapes you beating the people's, you know, asses back, then they're going to say you're the one that started it. But in reality, you didn't.
So
they're gonna say you went there looking for trouble.
Now, or are we talking about that Illinois kid that went up to Wisconsin during the riots?
I think that's what he's talking about. I'm not talking about that.
Well, no, I'm talking about the fact that, you know, people are trying to protect their livelihood, their family, their businesses, all that stuff. They're trying to protect that. They're not marching down the middle of Portland, you know, tearing up other people's stuff. They're not marching into Portland trying to beat up Antifa and things like that. They're usually on the defense, and then they have to go offensive.
So quick question, slightly off topic here. Does anybody else feel like it's more than a coincidence that, you know, Democrats and Republicans are blue and red, Crips and Bloods are blue and red? Do you think there's some sort of correlation there?
I never thought about it.
No,
I've never thought about that.
So,
yeah.
So then the libertarians must be in the rainbow group.
There's a rainbow gang?
Yeah, because they have all Bloods, Crips, all that. They have all of them in there. You've never heard of the G Mafia?
MS-13?
No, the G Mafia. You know, the ones that are making you wear dresses and telling you
The
you're
gay
not a man.
mafia.
Nope, I am completely unfamiliar with the gay mafia.
Then you're probably
Is
in
that
it
out of
because you're
Atlanta?
refusing. He's refusing. He's denying it. I get it. Don't talk about it. We got it.
The mafia doesn't exist. That's what I was always told.
The Fight Club.
Exactly.
What happens at Fight Club? The Fight Club. I don't even know the saying, but you know what I'm talking about. The first rule of Fight Club is not to talk about the Fight Club.
That's right. That's right.
It's not gay if it's in a three-way?
Yeah. So how about those Giants?
That's
Speaking-
a real song. That's
speaking of
Justin
gay.
Timberlake and Lady Gaga.
Oh, Lady Gaga. Yeah, that's something I'd look up to. Yeah. Speaking of Civil War.
Hey, look. You can talk all the shit you want to about Lady Gaga, but when that woman sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl a couple years ago, it was majestic.
No kidding,
sir.
dude. And that was the best basketball game I ever watched.
Mike, get your hockey buddy, please. We
Only
don't
thing I
sing
can say,
"Oh Canada" at our sporting events, Jim.
Oh, Canada sounds like Christmas. Oh, Christmas tree. I don't get it.
It does.
But don't ask a Canadian that; they get mad. And 90% of them don't even know what a Canuck is. I'm like, what?
mm-hmm.
There's Mike. So about that Civil War.
Yeah. Back to the Civil War.
The Civil War is going to be
Yeah.
fought over Lady Gaga's national anthem now.
Well, let's be realistic. Let's work with me here. Let's say that realistically there was going to be a full-out combat, people against people Civil War. Do you think it would be something quick and done with when people start realizing that this war stuff is not for me? Or do you think it'd be just some drawn out, we're never going to be friends ever again, so we might as well just kill each other till the end of time?
I have a decent piece on this, Mike. Do you want to go first?
No, please take it away.
Okay. So I will reference history because it has a tendency to repeat itself. And everybody thought the first time around, oh yeah, this will be quick and easy. We'll just go down there and kick those rebels' asses and, you know, be home by tea time. But no, it did not go down like that. It drug on and on and on and on and on because, as the old cliche says, you know, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. So, you know, regardless of how well equipped or trained or whatever the case may be one side is, if the other side has sheer willpower, that is an overwhelming force in and of itself. So where there's a will, there's a way. And if it does come to that, it will not be it won't be the first Gulf War.
But do you think you can identify those sides right now? I mean, usually they say it's the loudmouth bully that has the little bite.
No, because I think that the vast majority of people who
You should go a little faster with this one.
yeah, I'm trying to make sure I phrase this correctly, but I feel like the people who would have the greatest impact in an altercation like that would be the last people to get involved. Those are the people who don't want to be involved.
Right, like veterans who know what war is about and know how ugly it is.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
so, it would be people like us who are going, no, you know what? This is stupid. Whatever. We've seen what piled up bodies look like, right? Like, I would think that the vast majority of us wouldn't really want much or any part of that. But when it got to a point where everybody else had escalated it to a point where, like you were saying earlier, you couldn't go to the grocery store because one side or the other had it wrapped in concertina wire and rigged with fucking claymores. Then, when you didn't have a choice but to, engage in some way, shape, or form, that's when I feel like it would get really ugly.
I think you'd wake the sleeping giant.
Yeah.
And I think those people wouldn't have a chance. Like, even if you talk about gangs,
people?
those people, even if like you talk about gangs who have been committing violence for years and years and years, I think that's the difference right there. What you're saying, even though they've been doing this stuff, I think soldiers or veterans have the will and they understand that those gangs wouldn't stand a chance.
But see, the thing is that, to Mike's point earlier, I almost feel like it would end up being a three-sided thing. There would be the to keep our gang analogy, there would be the red group, the blue group, and then the people who just sat back until it was intolerable, we'll call them the green group. And like he was saying, the red group and the blue group aren't going to give a shit what group you're a part of. If you're not their color, they're going to shoot you. And I think that the green group is just going to be so fed up with the shit that they're just going to, red group, blue group, we don't give a shit. You guys are the ones causing the problem, and we're going to do away with the problem.
So we skip the Civil War and go to my draft idea.
I think one factor that
I call dibs on Texas.
One factor I think we're missing here is, let's take it like it is right now. I think the group that will win in this hypothetical is the group that has the government backing them. And right now, if you talk about the left and the right, if civil war in the streets, let's say the left is going to have the commander in chief on their side.
Really? You don't think that's going to fracture the government?
No.
Civil war? You think as a policeman, a soldier, or these people that train, you think they're not going to pick a side?
No.
Really?
So you don't think there's going to be like, so obviously this is different from the original Civil War in the fact that, there was secession and a declaration of an independent nation and a new election for, their commander in chief. But, there would be some sort of hierarchy to this. When the greens and the blues break off into their sections, there's going to be General B and General T on their sides respectively. And, they're both going to lay claim to something. And, that's, potentially what's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, is that General B and General T are both, attesting that they are owed a certain position somewhere. And, one side goes against the other when there's, an unagreeable consensus to the decision of which one of those generals is going to get that position.
So get to the point about where the military and all that, who they're going to support. Like, you think they're just going to lockstep with the first one who says it, or you think there's going to be division in the military, or you think there's going to be, I mean, there has to be. I just can't imagine.
I mean, if we're talking, a Mad Max post-apocalyptic world, I mean, obviously, we're straying from reality pretty drastically here, I think.
No, I think we're just talking about because of this election, there being a civil war. It's not post-apocalyptic or anything. It's just there's a bunch of people out there that's going to be upset at the results, and they're going to want to take some kind of action. That's what I keep hearing. I'm totally against that belief. I don't think it's going to happen. No. And if it did, we have police officers, we have National Guard, and if need be, which is against...
We love you, National Guard guys.
Yeah, that's right. Right. And we have the National Guard that can step in when there's civil unrest. Yeah, and that's what we're speaking about now.
I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think it'll reach that level either, for real. But I wanted to run through this hypothetical because it's something people are talking about. So I'd like to know where we see that going.
Yeah, but okay, I know you don't like to hear it, Jim, but this is not the first time they've been talking about this.
I understand. And the last time they talked about it, we could have had the same conversation.
Exactly.
So I'm okay with that, having the same conversation from 4 years ago, because I wasn't in that one.
Yeah, okay.
And more importantly, it wasn't on YouTube.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, and speaking of that, I think maybe it is time to pull the pin on this one for real. And wait. He thinks that's marble.
Anyways, what do you think that was, James?
It's what?
What do you think you just heard?
I thought he dropped a quarter he was trying to put in the drink machine. I'm like, hey, Jim, while you're over there, grab me a Coke,
Well, there's a shortage on change. It's obviously not a quarter.
That was a pin drop in the glass.
Anyways, whatever it was, I don't care. You know what?
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
It is time to move
You know what? Hey, honestly, though, if that's the worst thing I get called today, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, well, it's not. So let's move into our favorite segment, which is our only segment until we come up with a new one. Pull the pin already, the namesake of the show, where we all share something we just absolutely don't like in the world today and don't care. So who wants to go first?
Mike does.
He always does. But then he tells me I don't have anything.
I don't have anything, though. I don't have anything. While you guys go, I can think of something, but right now I don't have anything.
All right.
I would like to pull the pin on Mike not having anything.
You do that every episode. And then that would remind him of something, and then he'd have one.
There you go.
So do you want to go, Jay? I will take it first, since we're going to sit here and discuss for the next 5 minutes who's going first. I want to pull the pin. I want to pull the pin. I don't know. Obviously, this varies from state to state. But as Mike and I could probably relate, when we were policemen in New Jersey, they have these things that people put in their cars. Sometimes they're stickers, when they support like the PBA or police thing. But we used to see the shields, and the shields were almost like, you were in law enforcement or you knew somebody in law enforcement, but they were treated like get out of jail free cards. Like sometimes you see them on the license plates and things like this. I don't know if you've encountered them. I don't really know what every state has, but they're out there. Sometimes they're cards. These people act like these are get out of jail free cards. They act like if I do 50 miles an hour in a 20-mile-an-hour school zone, that I don't get a ticket because I got the support thing on there, or I give them my little PBA card. Look, I get away with a free one. It's not how it works. That's not how it works. And it really gets annoying because they drive around with this stuff like they got this freedom to do what they want because they still got this one get out of jail free. Well, let me tell you, it never worked on me, period. In fact, we
then why did I pay $50 for that card?
Well, that's my point, because you're dumb and you're donating to them, and that's great. Do that without the card. That's what I'm pulling the pin on.
Well, that was a good one.
All right,
James?
One of you.
You know what? I would like to pull the pin on the stigma surrounding public flatulence. It's natural. We all do it. Just let it go. There's no reason to sit there and get stomach cramps. You know, we all know you had tacos last night. If you got to let one go, just let it go, man. It's natural. We all do it. Get rid of the stigma.
And the stain.
Yes. And, you know, if you know it's going to be bad, man, light a candle. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
You know,
right.
but there's no reason for people to sit there in the middle of a conference call that they've been on for hours, you know, pinching their cheeks together. You know, just, man, just pressurize the cabin, bro. Just let it go.
I want to just break into an Elsa song right now, but something stinks about that.
Pardon the pun.
All right, Mike, it's your turn. What do you got?
Okay, I have something. I think we talked about this before. Remind me if we did, Jim. Handicap parking?
I don't know, but it's still good.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to see why we have so many. It used to be for handicap. That's why they have the extra space for the wheelchairs and things of that nature.
I think the wheelchair is even on the symbol.
Yeah. So now I see a lot of people who are capable of walking on 2 feet, 2 legs, and a lot of, in Texas, in the Fort Hood area, disabled vets, and you see guys jump out and they just running up to the store. So I'm trying to see, why do we still have these things? I have yet to see anyone get out with the wheelchair. Not saying there aren't any. Now, just the handicap parking should be for that, for those people with the wheelchair accessible types. And I think that's what it needs to be. And so for the handicap parking, I got to pull the pin on that.
I agree. I would pull it on the abusers, but I think the parking spots are around because that's good revenue. Those tickets are expensive.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Those tickets. Yeah. But the fact that they hand the cards out like candy,
right,
that's a little confusing because then you're not getting that good revenue. Yeah, true. James, you have one of those, don't you? A placard? No?
I should.
Yeah, because your handicap is way too obvious. And that is all the time we have for this episode. We thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy what we had to share.
It was just a vasectomy. I don't consider it a disability.
You come back next time. Until then, Godspeed.
And pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.